Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to News Dose. And if you're an Xbox Game Pass subscriber, you're in the right place because we got a lot of news for Xbox Game Pass to start the week off with. By all indication, they will make a major announcement sometime very soon. I'd say probably tomorrow morning, but you're going to get the lowdown a little bit early by tuning into this video. I mean, this is something that fans have been craving for a very long time. Now, Xbox is also allegedly looking to make some interesting changes to Game Pass as well, so we're going to get into all of that and what all this means for their future. But of course, we have some other things to talk about as well. So let's just go and get right into things, starting off with Star Wars Outlaws. You know, it's kind of funny to me that it was about this time last year when certain people started to question Starfield's apparent lack of marketing. Now, I'm not going to name any names here, but apparently the super long Starfield Direct wasn't quite enough for them and they thought it was concerning. I'll just say it again. I've never seen a game get as much bizarre discourse as Starfield did last year. Remember Menugate? I mean, I sure do. But, you know, it's funny to look back on all of this now because here we are 1 year later, and there's yet another massive game that's right around the corner, and it's also been a little bit quiet. Star Wars Outlaws is set to release next month on August 30th. But don't worry. Just like Starfield's marketing ramped up once its release was imminent, so too will Star Wars Outlaws. In fact, Ubisoft's CEO said this during an earnings call. He said, "What we are factoring in is a strong launch for Star Wars Outlaws. That's the fact that it's among the most awaited games of the industry this year and reflecting a really strong positive community sentiment. And also the fact that we are coming with the biggest marketing campaign ever so far for a Ubisoft game." So there you go, there it is. Ubisoft confirmed that they will go all out on its marketing, which means that it's going to top the marketing campaign for their biggest internal franchise, Assassin's Creed. I mean, it makes sense though. Ubisoft understands how big the Star Wars IP is, and even though Disney has tarnished that franchise in a lot of ways, I hear you Star Wars fans out there, but it is still massively popular, and Ubisoft is going to do everything that they can to capitalize on that. They have a big open-world Star Wars game, and that's a very marketable product. I think for Ubisoft, they kind of view this as their potential Hogwarts legacy. Now, I don't know if we view it quite the same way that they do, but I do think that that's their mindset going into this, and because of that, it's going to be very interesting to see how Outlaws performs when it releases next month. I feel like when it comes to the hardcore community, there does seem to be a lot of skepticism for this game, but yeah, we do now know for a 100% fact that Ubisoft has a lot riding on this game. Let me hear from you Star Wars fans specifically, though. Are you excited about this game? Do you think it looks good? And do you think Outlaws will be a huge success for Ubisoft when it releases? Now, we also got some good news for you JRPG fans out there because an old PlayStation 3 exclusive might finally be heading to other platforms sometime in the near future. I'm talking about Tales of Xillia, which originally released on the PlayStation 3 in 2011. And what's happening here is that some Reddit users discovered a retail leak. Apparently, a remastered Tales of Xillia version was spotted on multiple European websites and was listed for PlayStation, the Nintendo Switch, and yes, for Xbox as well. Now, I assume a PC version will also happen. Bandai Namco has done a pretty good job as supporting PC these past few years, so I think that it will show up there as well. It's just not going to be on a retail website because the PC version will be digital only. Here's my thing about this listing, though. It does beg a major question because the thing about Tales of Xillia is that it also has a sequel. So I do kind of wonder if Bandai Namco will bundle both of those games together for this remastered version, similar to what Square Enix did with Final Fantasy X HD and its sequel, or instead, are they just going to release the first game and that's simply it? Now, if that's the case, though, then my next question really becomes, do they have a Tales of Xillia 2 remaster planned for some time in the future? So, you know, if this remaster is true, then I hope we get those answers sometime soon. We do have a couple showcases over the next few months with Gamescom and TGS right around the corner. So those are two potential places that they could announce something like this, or who knows? They could just randomly announce this at any time they want. Okay, so let's go and talk about Xbox Game Pass, and let's go and start off with some really good news. I know a lot of you have been waiting a very long time for those Activision Blizzard benefits, and by all indication, it sounds like the rollout will start this week on July 24th. According to multiple insiders, including Tom Henderson over at Insider Gaming, which has a great track record, he corroborated that Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 will finally launch into Game Pass later this week, again on July 24th. Now, if this is true, we're probably going to get an official announcement sometime tomorrow morning, but this really is a huge, huge inclusion. I mean, this is the newest Call of Duty that released just last year. This is still one of the most popular games that you can play right now. So Xbox Game Pass subscribers, they're going to get the latest and most popular entry in the franchise, sounds like, in just a couple days. And of course, if you're subscribed to Game Pass Ultimate, you'll also get Black Ops 6 when it launches later this year in November. But this still does kind of beg the question, what about all the other Activision Blizzard games? When exactly will subscribers get those games? And from everything that we've heard, it sounds like what Microsoft plans to do is that they're going to do a slow rollout. We previously heard a rumor that the Crash and Sane trilogy is planned for August, and that Spyro and Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1+2 are also in the soonish pipeline. So with that information, I think what they're going to do here is that they'll release one Activision Blizzard game a month. Maybe two if they're a little bit smaller, or if it's just a slow month in general. So if that's the case, then possibly what they're going to do here is that July, you'll get Modern Warfare 3, August, you're going to get Crash. September will be Spyro. October will then be Diablo 4 Vessel of Hatred. November, of course, that would be Black Ops 6. And then in December, Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1+2. So that lineup already fills up the rest of 2024, if that's indeed their plan. But I have seen some mixed reactions over a slow rollout like this. There is a group of people that would prefer them to just unload a bunch of games all at once, similar to how they handled the Bethesda acquisition. And okay, I can understand that line of thinking. I mean, I get it. This entire acquisition has just been so long and frustrating at times. And I don't think that they've handled the long wait super well since the acquisition. And now we just really want to see that reward. But I will say, for me personally, I do like the idea of a slow rollout as opposed to just releasing everything all at once. And the reason I say that is because it gives individual games a better chance with their own spotlight. If they do it this way, then more people will play that one game that they release monthly, and that game will get a ton of attention online, and it'll just be great for that game's community. As one such example, let's say if Black Ops 2 were to release into Game Pass. Well, that means a lot of subscribers are going to flood that game and give it a huge community, and that buzz, that's going to be all over social media. But on the other side, if they were to release multiple Call of Duty games all at once, well, then what happens is that community would be fractioned. Some people would be playing Call of Duty 4, some would be playing Black Ops 2, some would be playing Black Ops 3, and so on and so forth. So I think a slow rollout is the better way to do this. But, that's just my own personal opinion. If you feel differently, let me hear why in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts about this as well. Let's have an open discussion. In the meantime, though, keep an eye out, because an official Modern Warfare 3 Game Pass announcement should really happen at any moment. That's not the only Game Pass news, though, because we also got some new information thanks to Jez Corden over on Windows Central. According to him, he's heard that Microsoft is working on more Game Pass tiers. We already have 3. There's Xbox Game Pass Core, Xbox Game Pass Standard, and then there's Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. However, sounds like they're working to make even more affordable options, which I'd say is welcome news after its recent price hike, and they're going to do this in 3 different ways. One is the long-awaited Xbox Game Pass family plan. So if you have multiple people that wants Xbox Game Pass, and if you want to pull together, this would be the best way to do it. They actually previously tested this in some markets, which allowed 5 people per plan for $25 a month. That is just $5 per person, which is an absolutely ridiculous good price. And from the sounds of it, they were well aware of that. Jez mentioned that some publishers were a little bit concerned that this was too generous. And basically, that probably means that if they do reintroduce the family plan, it'll likely be more expensive than just $25 a month. Now, the second tier, though, that they're experimenting with, and we've been hearing about this for quite a while, is an ad-based tier. This will likely be the cheapest tier, or at least for the standard Xbox Game Pass catalog. This has become a much more popular option with movie streaming services, and it makes a lot of sense for Game Pass to try that as well. I guess the only thing with that, though, is that games are a little bit different than shows and movies, so it would have to be done in a non-intrusive way. I think what they would basically have to do is to bring back load screens to some degree, specifically for this Game Pass tier. Anytime that there's a load screen, then there could be a potential ad based on how long that you've played. So, I mean, if you don't mind ads and if you want Game Pass at a cheaper price, then I think that this is actually a very welcome option as well. Now, the last tier that they're experimenting with, though, and this one might be the most interesting, is a cloud-only option. Of course, they just partnered up with Amazon. You can now get Game Pass on Fire TV, and by having a cheaper cloud-only option, that would truly maximize their potential on these non-Xbox devices. So this would really open the door for them, and not just for people who don't have a game console, but also for gamers who just don't really want an Xbox console. That is something that Xbox has battled with for well over a decade. There are a lot of people out there that would just rather have a PlayStation, or they would just rather have a Nintendo console and not an Xbox. But by having this cloud-only option, this opens the door for those players to play Xbox games like the upcoming Fable and Perfect Dark without the need to buy an Xbox console or a highly powerful PC. At the end of the day, yes, Xbox consoles are important. That's where most of their subscribers are. But Microsoft still wants to expand their reach as much as possible. I mean, we've really seen that a lot this year, and this option would certainly do exactly that. Now, can they get their cloud service to actually have success? And that's a big question because we haven't seen that yet. But let me know what you all think. Do you think any of these tiers are interesting, or are they a hard pass? Anyways, though, that's going to be it for this episode, but do hit that subscribe button, and until next time, peace out.